All right, welcome to another War of Rights map overview, map whatever. We're talking about High Street today. So this is part of the Harper Ferry set of maps. This means, as with a lot of Harper Ferry maps, it's a CSA attacking map, and we are hanging out in CSA spawn. It's called High Street, although there are actually several streets you can go. I guess appropriately enough, we'll go on the highest street we can get to. We're actually very close to the map boundaries. So this is, for all intents and purposes, our high street. This is the highest street we can spend a lot of time on. How close to the map edge are we? We're close. We're close. So what CSA frequently does, if they're going to go the high road, yes, you can build up on that building, you can build up on that building, and as long as you don't go further than this building, you're okay to build up. Not that the Union can't get you, they can, but you're really close to your spawn and you have good cover and fine concealment. It can get a bit weird after that, and you know there are subtleties to kind of when you're inbounds and outbounds. Remember, if you're out of bounds, you have 30 seconds. So as long as you get back inbounds in about 28 seconds, you'll be fine. What you can see just at the end of that road is going to be the major challenge on the high road, and that is this stone wall. That's really part of the stairs. Well, it is part of the stairs. Those are the stairs that go all the way down there, right? That's the kind of middle road. By the way, that's where Point is, and we'll come back to that later. And then you go down to this lower road, and if you remember the downtown map, now this is familiar territory, and here's an even further away road. So there's a lot here. But this is an area where the Union will usually do a couple of things. They can get behind this stone wall. They can also get down in here. Now, you can't go too far. You really don't want to yellow jump off of those. You want to stay inbounds. But if the Union are holding on the backside and then they just have their officer scout for them, they're down here. It's hard cover. You can't get to them as a CSA. The CSA does have buck and ball on this map. That'll be more important for close range stuff. It doesn't really stop the hard cover from being hard cover, but that is what it is. The Union, yeah, so you can see this is kind of where, again, we're flirting right at the map's edge. Both sides will do it, and if you're good about time, you know how long it takes you to run here, shoot, and run back, you can kind of get away with a fair amount. What might happen is that the CSA may just get just everybody up and just charge the top wall here, try to take it. And then once they get here, it's very difficult to dislodge for the Union. Your options are limited. If you try to come up the stairs and the CSA is here in large numbers, and again, they have that buck and ball, and they know, come up, shoot, go to the back of the line, reload, kind of get that conveyor belt going. I don't know how you're going to retake it. And yet it's not capping the point either, so it doesn't solve that problem. Sometimes the Union will try to come up through this area here because it gives more concealment and a good deal of cover, and now you're fighting on, well, far more equal terms than you were when you were just getting shot down one after the other. By the way, we're close to Union spawn on this map. Union spawn is right about here at this intersection, and so the CSA can get very, very close to that spawn. So this is a key point on this map. Now, the Union does not get artillery on this map. The CSA does. And I believe it's two batteries. I believe it's French and Manly. And I believe that's French. It's always the opposite of what I think. And that would mean that Manly would be over there. What we do, and so lots of other people do it, and they've done it, is they get the ranges from French or whatever the battery is over there, and they just shoot down the stone wall. They kill people who are on it. They get the timing down to burst it just as it's going over, particularly this intersection where you'll see why the Union would do it. It's on the backside of Point, and so there's a lot of cover here if you just get the warning they're coming, and then you hop up and you do that. So this can be torn up if CSA already knows what they're doing. For the Union, you kind of just got to live with it. So that's the highest road attack to the Point. Next, so we've flown past spawn here. That was the high road. This is the next highest road. This is the one with Point. It's worth mentioning that sometimes the CSA will come over and through here, and they'll work their way kind of not through the set of buildings because it's only on that side. There's not a whole lot over there. And then they'll look to jump through one of these gaps as a group, make it bloody, use buck and ball, get their officers' pistols in there. And so the Union needs to know that as well. Sometimes the Union will have a scout or more up here. And when the CSA, if they make it this far, they have a decision point. They're actually around cap, and you can cap from below. if you're down here, and then you can also cap. It's a bit odd from back up here as well, but the CSA can choose to come up this kind of upper middle road, or they can go for the lower road. I can't say that too much good ever comes from going this lower road, just having done this as CSA. The Union can wait in these buildings. By the way, some of these alleys you can finagle yourself into if you know how the timing works. You can get into these and you can shoot folks. So I think this is a rough one for the CSA. Sometimes they'll try to get cute and come down here and kill people who are running back from spawn, or they'll try to snake back up here, but it's usually a one-way trip on that lower road. Usually coming through this higher middle road, the goal is to make it bloody and to put pressure on cap. And again, you can do it by coming straight up the road. You can do it by coming through this area here that's just adjacent to all these houses, and then coming through at some point. And then you can combine that as well with attacks from up here if you hold this ground. So yet again, if you hold this up here and you can kind of deny the Union an eye as to what you're doing, you can send parties of CSA folks to run through here and try to draw even on casualties. In pubs, my experience is that this tends to be more CSA favored than it is in organized play. It gets quite a bit in organized play. But I find that the Union can win this. The few times, though, I think we've won it as the Union, it feels like we usually kind of force the CSA to cap early. And sometimes we do that just by standing up so many troops up here, or at least enough troops up here, that the CSA has to cap early, or else they're just going to run out of time. And then we counterattack with the attackers' tickets against them as the Union, and try to pull it back and win it that way. Sometimes you can try to force the CSA maybe to cap early and then maybe get them to go last stand during the counterattack. That one can be tricky. I think you'd have to probably be up on tickets to pull that one off as the Union. But if the Union has its defense coordinated, they can make use of little things, concealment cover, and they can swarm the attackers. If the attackers break up, you go high and we'll go low and you guys skirmish, if the attackers do the defenders that favor rather than concentrate in one, maybe a maximum of two directions, I think the defenders, they don't have far to go, and they can concentrate and defeat in detail each of these groups. And at the end of these melees, remember, it's a bunch of out of line and skirmishing deaths. And so that is a way that the defenders can come back to this. But again, Artie can make it really tough. Artie can focus on this, and I believe it's Manly over there. If not, French as well can get the ranges for Union spawn and can just shoot any Union who are trying to not spawn on flag, instead spawn main. So in terms of a basic overview of what High Street has to offer, that's it. It's chaos. It's a lot of close quarters combat stuff. You get a lot of that in Harper's Ferry. All right, folks, I look forward to bringing you more of these in the future.